chef and owner of a very popular sandwich shop in Brooklyn, New York called Mission Sandwich Social, recently threw out a challenge to me on his podcast. It's called So You Want to Be Fat, to recreate one of his popular sandwiches. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's get going. So Brian Tsao, the head chef and owner of a very popular, and that's deserved popularity by the way, sandwich shop in Brooklyn, New York, Mission Sandwich Social, shares a podcast called So You Want to Be Fat with another chef, restaurant owner. His name is Paul. I'm not going to say his last name because I'll butcher it like I did before. But his nickname is Chef Frenchie, and that's what he goes by, Chef Frenchie. They have this podcast, and they did a reaction to a burger video I did where I recreated Frenchie's French onion soup burger from his restaurant La Ravage. Amazing restaurant. Anyway, for me it was stressful. One of my subscribers sent me this link. It was very stressful watching it, but fun watching it. My wife and I watched it together. Ended up that they liked what I did, so that was cool. The other day they were kind of recapping some things, and that video came up. A comment that I left on the video came up, and Chef Brian basically threw down the gauntlet, and he challenged me in front of everyone to do a recreation of one of his sandwiches.
You may have passed Ballistic Burgers on this one, but can you make this sandwich? Huh?
So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a recreation. I'm paying homage to his most popular sandwich, which is the Steve Byrne Sandwich. It's named after a comedian who they're friends. He texted Steve basically asking him to give him 3 ingredients to put in a sandwich. Steve's 3 ingredients were French fries, ranch dressing, and mozzarella cheese. And Brian's reaction was like he was kind of disgusted by that, but he did what any respectable chef would do, and he added a bunch of Korean ingredients into it, made it awesome. So that's what we're going to do. Kicking this off with a homemade pepper. It's a rice wine vinegar, chili vinaigrette. So we're starting out with the rice wine gochugaru vinaigrette, 1/4 cup soy sauce, 2 tablespoons rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons coarsely ground gochugaru, the pepper, 2 tablespoons toasted sesame seed oil, 2 teaspoons honey, which I've heated up so that it pours out easier, 4 cloves of finely minced garlic. Let's whisk this up. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame seeds. This is looking kind of thick, so I'm adding another 2 tablespoons of that rice wine vinegar. Let's see how this tastes. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so this is going in the fridge. Let's get on with the next condiment. The next condiment, and I did all these yesterday, is a scratch-made ranch dressing. Now for that ranch dressing, we have here 1/2 cup sour cream. To that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of Kewpie mayo. I like it, it's very eggy. 1/4 cup of buttermilk. 1 teaspoon of dried dill seed. 1 teaspoon freshly squeezed lemon juice. 1 teaspoon distilled white vinegar. 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder. 1/2 teaspoon kosher salt, and 1/4 teaspoon onion powder. Some freshly ground pepper. Let me adjust this. Give a little whisking action here. And I don't want it really thin like a lot of salad dressings because this is, going on a sandwich. So try making it just a little bit thicker. Not done yet. This tastes killer. Really, really good. 1 tablespoon freshly chopped dill, the dill weed. 1 tablespoon freshly chopped Korean chive. Get that in there. Just gonna fold this in with the little end of my spatula, my scraper. Looks good. Wow, that looks really, really good. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to put this in a container, and it is going to go in my fridge tomorrow. It'll be really, really good. Last but not least is the bulgogi marinade recipe. Now, Chef Brian uses a recipe that was basically handed down from his grandmother to his mom to him. And so I hope I'm paying the respect that your mom and grandmother deserve with the recipe I'm going to do right here. 1/2 cup of pureed Korean pear. 1/4 cup of pureed onion. Plop. 4 cloves minced garlic. 1 teaspoon freshly minced ginger. 1 chopped green onion. 2 tablespoons soy sauce. 1 tablespoon roasted sesame seed oil. 2 tablespoons brown sugar. And in honor of Chef Brian's mom and grandmother, 1/2 cup pineapple juice and 1/2 cup of red wine. And this is an Old Vine Zen that I put in here. I'll get this all whisked up. Add a little bit of pepper, black pepper. Just one more thing. Some USDA prime sliced ribeye. I'll coat it up here. Smells good. All right, I'm going to cover this, throw it in the fridge overnight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Flat top's all ready to go. Let's make a sandwich. Running my flat top at medium high. I want to get a little fat down here. I mean, the ribeye obviously has some fat, but I just want to kick it off with some nice fat before it begins to render. And I'm using what any respectable Korean descent chef would use, some Wagyu beef tallow. And I'm running my griddle here at medium high. And here's that ribeye all marinated, looking good. All right. Chef Brian's using Dutch Crunch rolls, which are killer. And first thing I'm going to do is hollow this out. We're gonna remove bread from the top bun. I'm used to saying buns. The top part of this sandwich. In this cavity here, that dressing, that ranch dressing. Chopped green onion. Finely chopped iceberg lettuce, and I like to do this by hand. Stuff you buy in bags is crap. Get that packed in there. And we're going to go with that vinaigrette, that rice wine vinegar, chili vinaigrette. Now we're going to build the bottom part with the good stuff, that meat. And as my German father-in-law would have said, rest in peace, I schnitzeled a little of this meat off of the griddle back there, and it really tastes good. I don't know how close this is to the recipe that Chef Brian is using, but this is good. And I've never put pineapple or wine in a marinade for bulgogi, but it really works. Kind of, in a way, reminded me of Cardiff Crack with the red wine. Right now, fresh mozzarella. This is the good stuff. This is the, wet, really soft, almost burrata-like mozzarella. Right, this is going to go onto the infrared broiler just enough to get the cheese melted. All right, now next to it, Chef uses coated French fries on this that they bake in the oven, because this is literally the only French fry dish or sandwich they have, and they don't serve fries as a side, so it makes sense. Why would you want a fryer? And he uses coated fries. That's what I bought. These have already been baked in a little convection oven. And they're hot right now. I mean, they're warm, but I just want to get them heated up a little bit more. All right, let's get this going here. Nice, look at that. So one thing I just blew, and there's no going back, is I forgot to put a little drizzle of that ranch dressing on the meat before the cheese went on. So I'm not happy with myself about that right now. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on top of the cheese and I'm bummed, but it is what it is. All right, now those fries. I get really, really pissed off at myself when I do things like that. Now on top of the fries, going with kimchi, which is, I love kimchi. Kimchi has all sorts of umami stuff going on here. It's, you know, that fermented flavor. It's got some spice. I bought this paper because I wanted to roll the sandwich up for the cut, but it's obviously too small. All right. All right, I'm gonna ditch the paper. Now what I will do to make this easier on me is put in a couple gigantic toothpick things. I use these in burgers. All right. See what this looks like. Look at that. Looks good. This is the same thing I love about a really good hamburger. Multiple textures, you know, different type of textures going on, different type of, you know, temperatures going on. And then it's interesting, you know, I love iceberg lettuce, shredded iceberg lettuce on a hamburger. I always say that. I like the way the crunch it gives. I like the way it absorbs juices and sauces. And I love the texture when you bite into it. So in the sandwich, I'm getting right off the bat, you know, that hot bulgogi and the melted cheese, and I'm getting the spices from, you know, that vinaigrette and also the kimchi, but then that nice, cool, refreshing salad in here, the shredded iceberg lettuce and that ranch dressing. I love French fries on a sandwich. California burrito, my favorite burrito. If you have an opportunity to try it, just make sure. One thing I've noticed in other states, it was born right here in San Diego, the California burrito, but I've had it in other states and they always add rice. You don't add rice to a California burrito. You don't do that. This is really good. The Dutch crunch bread, killer. I think even somebody who didn't like kimchi would like it on the sandwich. It's doing exactly what it should be doing, which is it's enhancing all the flavors around it. It's providing, you know, some more crunch, that cool crunch, and that spice, you know, that peppery bite. It's really, really, really working well. So I'm not sure how close I came, and I don't think that little flub I made too much of a difference as far as with the ranch dressing under the cheese instead of on top. Again, I'm kicking myself for that. If I had enough meat left over, I'm telling you what I would have done is scrap this whole thing and recooked the sandwich. I would have redone that whole building the sandwich scene, but it is what it is. This, Brian, is an amazing sandwich, and hats off to you. Everything just works so well. I love fusion. Roy Choi out here in Southern California, in the LA area, you know, he built his empire, I don't know if it's an empire, on fusing Korean with Mexican food. And wow, I would lean into the fusion stuff. This is amazing. So chef, if you're taking requests, here's something that I'd love to see you do. I would like to see a kind of a twist on Argentine food. I love the ribeye, like grilled ribeye with a red chimichurri aioli. a green chimichurri, just a chimichurri, and provolone cheese because they're really into provoletta, so melt some provolone on there, and maybe throw a little Korean into it, like I don't know, like maybe a cucumber kimchi or something like that. That's what I'd like to see, something like that. But this is awesome. Thank you for bringing this into my life, and I would love to try the real deal one of these days in your restaurant. Anyway, thank all of you for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscription button, ringing the notification bell. Thumb it up if you like it. I hope you did. Keep the suggestions coming in. If you have any suggestions, something you'd like to see me cook or recreate, please leave them in the comments or shoot me an email. Email is in the description box. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Anyway, see you on the next video. Cheers.